Hey viewers, my name's Cara. I just wanted to do a quick video about something that came up a week or so ago that I haven't gotten a chance to make a video about yet, which is messages from Deity, messages from the universe, getting a message in general from a non-physical source, I guess. A couple weeks ago I was checking my Facebook newsfeed and one of my friends that I had gone to high school with had written something, and I think this person identifies as agnostic or atheist, I'm not sure, but they had made a post about how, in their opinion, people who say that they are waiting for messages from God or have received messages from God or, decided to make a choice about their lives because they got a message from God, in their opinion, those types of people are buying into a lot that doesn't really exist, and that basically what it boils down to is they think that truly these messages are coming from yourself, from your subconscious. They're not coming from an outside source. So really what it is when you are looking for a sign of that nature from an outside source is they think that you're just not trusting yourself and you're not giving yourself enough credit because you're really where those things are coming from. And someone else had commented on it saying that, yeah, those messages are really only coincidences anyway, and it's just people experiencing a coincidence and saying, oh, that's a message from God, and really kind of putting that meaning onto it where it is not. Those are paraphrases of what they said because I haven't looked at it in about a week, so those are the main ideas of what they had said and the things that really struck me. So what I wanted to say about receiving messages from the universe or messages from Deity, because as you know, I've mentioned things like that before, especially, after it's happened, numerous times in a row over a couple of months or whatever, and then I'll post something saying like, oh, the universe has been sending me this message repeatedly and I just didn't get it till now. Because I'm the kind of person who always thinks, no, like after one time, no, maybe that wasn't it, but when it keeps happening repeatedly, then I know, okay, this is a sign that I'm really supposed to be paying attention to. So I wanted to say that when I experience it, it is absolutely, it's a series of coincidences. The difference is that it's a coincidence that the individual recognizes meaning in. Because, and I didn't comment on this friend's post or anything, I didn't say anything back to these people about it. So I didn't ask them things like, well, what about messages from spirit? Like from your family members who have passed away, do you believe that they are in spirit and that they could pass a message to you that way? Like maybe it's not God, maybe it's not the universe. What if it's a family member who's passed away? So I didn't ask them any of those things, but that's a whole nother thing to think about. But to me it is. It's a coincidence that you can recognize because one sign, whatever the sign is, might mean something to me, and to you seeing the exact same thing, it doesn't mean anything. Or vice versa. Because it all depends on, I think, what you're looking for and what you're willing to recognize. For me, it usually comes after I've requested a sign or an image or something that tells me my answer. So I think there are probably signs going on all the time, as things do. Things come together in different ways all the time and you just don't see them. So I do believe that those things are happening all the time, and maybe just I overlook it because it was meant for someone else, or it means a lot to me when it doesn't for someone else. But to me, like magic, I've done a video about magic and coincidence. I think that magic is coincidence and coincidences are magic. It's just the way that you look at them. And I do absolutely believe that at the same time that this is something that is coming from within ourselves. Being a person who views deity as symbolic as I am, this would not be the same for someone who believes in literal deity or worships deity as literal beings. But for me, I do believe that when you're doing a spell and you're working with the universe as a whole or with nature, when you're working with the forces around you, it is something from within yourself, and it's also something that taps into yourself being connected with everything else. So for my friend to say it's really only something within you, blah, blah, I don't think that that's really contrary to what I believe, because I do believe that it does come from us. It's something that you have to recognize within yourself. Because also I believe, like I said, I could see the same sign over and over and not get it. until later on that, oh, that's something I was supposed to be paying attention to. So there's a certain amount of recognition within yourself that needs to happen. And I don't think that for people of faith, praying and looking for a sign or asking the universe for guidance, I don't believe that that means that we're not looking within ourselves, because it is so much about ourselves and our connection to those things as well. I think it's all just a reflection, as above, so below. I don't really view them as contrary or completely separate. Lately, this really cool, strange, interesting thing has been happening to me. I've been reading a lot. That's not the weird thing, because I do read a lot, but I've been trying to beat my number of books read last year, this year. And I've actually already almost beat that, because I'm reading a lot of shorter novels and things, but I'm reading almost constantly lately. I always have at least one book going on, if not 2 or 3. But this weird, strange, interesting, cool thing has been happening where, I'll be reading whatever books I'm reading just at my own pace, and then a question will arise, whether it's a question from myself or one of you actually sends me a message or posts something on my Facebook, on YouTube, whatever it is. Something will come up somewhere, and I'll think about it, and I'll have an answer, or I won't have an answer, whatever the case may be. And when it's the instance of someone sending me a message, I'll shoot off an answer with whatever I have, and in most cases but I don't really know much else about it, but here's what I have now. I hope that helps. Then I go back and I pick up the book that I was reading, and I start reading again, and the next section that I read answers that question. And I definitely feel like that is connectivity happening, and in a way it's a message. It's a message saying, here's your answer. Because I could have decided to pick up a different book that day, or I could have read that chapter a couple days before, a couple days later. I might have put that book off. It's just so strange that it continues to happen the same day or the next day. It's never like a little while later the book gets into it, or, oh, I read that last week. It's right at the same time. And it's happened so many times lately. Some of you that this has happened with, I've even written back and said, okay, so that thing just happened where I answered you, picked up the book I was reading, and the next paragraph talked about what we talked about. So then I send off this new information that I found from this book. I think that's sort of like what this is talking about, what this topic is. So anyway, I just wanted to give you my thoughts about that type of thing. And I know that different people, whether they have different views or if they're just different individuals within the same path, different people see getting messages from the universe, from deity, from God, whatever the case may be. They see that in different ways. So I just wanted to express some of my thoughts about some thoughts that friends of mine expressed, and how I really don't think that they are so different. At least not from my views to theirs. But I've also mentioned before that on the spectrum, if atheism is on one end, and I don't know what would be the really far opposite end of belief would be, my belief within the pagan realm is definitely shifted more over toward the atheist side than others. There are a lot of beliefs that I feel crisscross and overlap within the realm of being a pagan who worships deity as symbolic and sees deity as symbolic of the physical forces of nature, I guess is a way to put it. So if any of you have some thoughts or feelings about this topic, want to say anything, share a story, share an experience about how you view receiving messages and what you think it means when you receive a message, or just what it means to you when it happens, how you recognize it, please feel free to share that in the comments and we can all check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye.